Two fools agree on that one. Oh, by the way, look, we got the wide shot.
There was you had accountability. Now what I can
Now all you need is a podcast and a YouTube channel.
No, not even.
Where give me the money. Show me the money.
Apparently there's a foo-foo page.
Shoot the J. Shoot it. Live on Facebook.com/Foolproof Entertainment Network. I need you on Twitter. I need you to repost the Facebook pages.
To raise a human before I would
Trust human to raise back wolves?
before I would trust a pack of humans to raise a wolf.
Right. I hear you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back.
Welcome.
I am Michael Reggie. I'm here with my man Cliff Jennings. How you doing tonight, Cliff?
I'm all right. How are you, sir?
I'm doing all right, man. It's been a long week. Lot going on at work and just wearing me down this week. So I'm happy to kick back, grab a couple with you. Let's do it.
Let's kick it off.
What you got going on? You got any inadvertent thoughts this week?
I do. I actually, I'm going conspiracy on them.
Oh, conspiracy theories.
I'm going conspiracy on
What
them.
are we conspiring about?
Conspiring about this, goddamn coronavirus.
The coronavirus. Uh-oh. I don't know if you can talk about conspiracies when it comes to, like, big diseases that are happening, man. What do you think? What's this conspiracy theory you got?
I was listening to a podcast, one of my favorites.
Well, you know you can't trust those.
Listen, I'm just saying. Shout the Flagrant 2 podcast. Andrew Schultz, they were talking about the coronavirus and it being him hearing about it possibly being for population control.
Because it started and originated in China, and that just seems like that's their thing, right?
Right.
Okay.
And then he was talking about how the Black Plague originated in China, which I didn't know. I didn't know that.
Did it?
It did.
I'm going to have to research that one.
China, and then up northern Africa, and then into southern Europe.
Okay.
I believe is the path
Was the
that
path.
it took. The bird flu.
The avian flu, yeah.
China.
See, here's the thing, though. Like
Ebola.
Here would be my scientific explanation for that stuff originating in China.
Uh-huh.
Sheer volume of people. They have more people. Yes, more diseases are going to originate in China than elsewhere.
Now listen, granted, Ebola originated in
Africa, right?
But who's been trying to colonize Africa for the longest?
The rest of the world.
China. And I feel like
Africa is going to be great.
listen, I'm telling you, it's the reason why some of them pulled out.
Well, I think the problem is they don't pull out. That's the whole reason why they have more people than everyone else.
Touche, fools agree on that.
Yeah.
Listen, I'll give you that one.
Hey, man, every once in a while.
Shit, I mean,
So what? But what's the all right? So the conspiracy is just that it's population control, and that's why it started in China.
I feel like every so often we get something, and then let's be honest, that was a good misdirect from the whole uprising as well.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Because they had all the political unrest about just general, yeah.
And then once you have a coronavirus, you can legally kidnap people. Like you can
quarantine them,
right? Like I don't.
That's man.
But what?
No, I mean you're not wrong. That's getting into biological warfare, and if there is a nation on Earth that's gonna go down that route outside of the United States, and the different epidemics that I'm sure we've unleashed.
I definitely think that it would be China.
I mean, it's China and us, right?
China and us.
Yeah.
Period.
Not wrong.
And I can't. I've heard. Who cares what I've heard? I'm just a fool.
Well, I care, Cliff. I want to. I mean. No, I got nothing. I don't know. What else you want to... I mean, was that it? Was that all you wanted to say on that front?
I do. I feel like that... let's stay tuned.
Stay tuned. There might be more.
I feel like... there may be more.
There may be? All right.
There may be more. But hell, it's China.
That's true.
There's gonna be more.
Right.
It's just a matter of where and what.
And how bad it gets.
Listen. And then my whole thing is, what? I don't have a whole thing.
You don't?
I don't have a whole thing, Mrs. Clinton.
Oh, you sound like your boy. Donald.
I'm whole thingless.
Whole thingless. Oh, man. Well, I mean, on my side, I don't know how much it's inadvertent thoughts. It's more just like random musings throughout the week. So, what was it? Was it Monday? No, it must have been Tuesday. My 4-year-old received his first kiss. Walking out the door at daycare.
From a human being.
Was from a human being, another little girl.
Oh, baby.
I can tell you that the appropriate reaction is not a high five. Char was not happy.
Well,
it's not that she wasn't happy, but it was...
Now, who did it? Who made the move?
Oh, who made the move? The little girl made the move.
Okay.
So... Although we had the consent talk and everything about it after the fact.
How was Andrew's reception though?
Well, I wasn't there.
Did he
now what I hear,
it?
he
did he gronk it and spike it, or was he real suave? Was he suave and debonair?
Well, from what I understand,
Jerry Rice it.
From what I understand, she came in like this, and he was just like, and that's how it worked.
Gave no Popeye.
Popeye. You know, he's yeah. I don't know. I 4 seems a little young for the first kiss, but it is what it is. It was just a little peck, and we did have to have all the you only kiss your family. Is my dog okay? Yeah, your dog's okay.
I don't know if the dog's okay there, sir.
I mean, I'm not the one saying the dog's okay, but. Yeah, so we had that. Yeah,
That's interesting, though.
My other inadvertent thought of the week wasn't really an inadvertent thought. It was more a pondering. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to understand.
That's how mine are.
Who's this dude from the Browns that got caught with 157 pounds of weed? As an NFL player, my musing is, what could possibly drive you to want to be driving a car with 157 pounds of weed? Well, from what I understand, he wasn't actually driving. He paid for an Uber, and it was his shit, and loaded it up in the Uber. Like, dude, you're in the NFL, so you at least got to be making some bread. Now, I'm not saying whatever in terms of how much, but like, What
There's
what
that was a
point
drop.
does
And
there?
then the crazy thing is that you would do a drop with an Uber driver.
Right.
Like you thought, like.
Well,
Just
what
give me a
happened was
minute,
they were
I'll
on their way.
unload it.
They were on their way back from Mexico. They got caught down south.
Oh.
So is he bringing up shit to say? Like, why you need to be a dealer if you're an NFL player, though?
I have so many questions. I
Yeah,
don't
what
know
kind
his
of
name
weed was
either,
it?
Right. And you listen. Don't get me started.
I can't keep not getting you started. That's the whole show, Cliff, is me getting you started.
Listen,
and then just sitting back and watching the magic.
Well, right now, I'm feeling like Aaron Judge, and you're pitching me curveballs here.
So we went from my son got his first kiss to 157 pounds of weed. What else can I throw your way? Is an inadvertent thought? I can't help it. They're inadvertent.
Kid. I'm not saying I can't hit them.
You can't.
I'm just saying.
You know, the show works a lot better when you contribute back.
Listen, where's Houston's manager when you need him?
No doubts. Do you need to steal some signals?
Listen, I need to know what you're pitching, and I might be ready. But right now.
But that's the whole point with the inadvertent thoughts, isn't it?
I plead the fifth.
And then my last inadvertent thought.
Oh, you had multiple.
I have just one.
You
more.
had. Well, wait.
I've had two.
You
this
had
is my
an
third.
Inadvertent observation.
Yeah, true.
You
true.
had, and what was the second?
Well, the first one wasn't really an observation. It was just more a humble brag that Andrew got his first kiss. And then the second one was amusing around. Was just I'm still trying to figure out what possesses somebody who is an NFL player to be caught in the car with 157 pounds of weed.
Listen, there's a lot of questions.
I mean, like,
CTE.
I think about that because how many blunts is 157 pounds of weed? What's that in kilos? I don't know. I don't know. I don't understand.
Again, so you're pitching me curveballs, and it's not that I can't hit them. I'll just let those slide on by. Is all I'm
that's
saying.
all you letting.
We'll wait for a better pitch.
Well, you about to get struck out right here. So
what's the third then?
The third one is just it was my I had my own dad joke of the week. So my wife, she's a teacher. And they're growing chicks in her classroom.
Oh, Lord.
Little baby chicks, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so she got the eggs or whatnot, and she got them in the incubator, and she told me, wait. She told me she was going on Amazon to buy some chick books. And I told her, I'm like, I don't think you can call them that. I think they're romance novels. And that, ladies and gentlemen, were my inadvertent thoughts of the week. Just too many this week, man.
Damn,
I got
wish
nothing.
I had drums and a cymbal.
Wait, there's an app for that. I bet you I could figure it out real quick.
I bet you we won't wait. I bet you we won't wait for it. I bet you we won't wait for it, and I wish I didn't wait for that joke. We got somebody in the live?
We do, but I can't. Do you know the free stream link? I don't know what that means. And it's Lucian Laurent, and I don't know who that is. So this is good. Expanding the audience. We'll see what happens.
Not if we don't know the free stream link.
It might be somebody from
a free stream link.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like YouTube? Like
well, but that's where we are.
Whoa.
That's what they're chatting in is the YouTube. That's what I don't know. I don't know.
So is there a link, like copy and paste the URL type? Like,
well, that's what I wonder if they tried to do because I've got it set up to auto block links. You can't share links in our chat or on our comments. So.
Oh, why not?
I don't want to be associated with malware. Like if there's any links that are going to be posted, it's going to be posted to our shit.
I get it. Okay. I
you
can't
know?
say that I understand it.
Well, and that's why I'm here.
Right. Because that's foreign to me. So
right. I
I'm
hear
like,
you.
malware, share links. I felt like I went into a trance with the URL.
Right?
Like, what was that?
What
That
do you
was
mean?
Will Ferrell
Oh,
in right.
I blacked out.
In
I blacked
old
out.
school.
In old school.
Right. Because Lord knows I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
Right? I don't know, man. So we'll see. Well,
hello, Lucius. Nonetheless, welcome.
welcome.
Welcome, Lucius Lyon.
By the way, Empire, one of my big guilty pleasures. I fucking love
really?
that show,
I don't
man.
think I've watched
I love
one
it.
episode all the way through.
But I also really like Taraji, and I like Terrence Howard's crazy ass.
They kind of make Taraji look a fool in that, though.
I think they did early on. I think she's
polishing.
Yeah, she's. I mean,
because I mean,
I think she's been able to show a lot of range.
Everybody loves Baby Boy Taraji, and I'm not saying that.
I'm personally a fan of Hustle and Flow Taraji, but
you would be.
Oh man, actually, I'm really a fan of Terrence Howard and Hustle and Flow.
Mm-hmm.
Taraji's character was kind of throwaway in that, but I thought it'd be funny.
And it was.
She's really good in Hidden Figures, I guess. That was good. Hidden Figures, it was too math for you. Is that what it was?
That was the.
That was the one. She's the NASA
right.
NASA scientist.
I knew what it was. I just never watched it. Like, I'm good with the Cliff Notes.
I hear you.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that that's not amazing.
No, it's. I mean, it's a, true story. All that. And
right. And I'm not saying
the black women that helped launch us into space, like that's a pretty big deal. And I'm not surprised that it took that long to get a movie about it, but I think it's powerful. It's actually something that Shar was really passionate about getting it into their curriculum when it came out, in terms of like being able to take kids to go see it and like show women of color, especially in a position like that is driving, going to the fucking moon, I guess. So.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
I mean, I can't even say.
But I understand if it's too highbrow for you, Cliff.
Yeah, no, if that's the word, I don't know if I should be letting you put words in my mouth. But
well, apparently I have to tonight because it's all, I'm going to let that one go by.
Listen,
I'm going to let that one go by.
I feel like you are setting
You're
the
just
kid
looking, getting struck out looking, man.
No,
it's not good.
I feel like these are balls, all right? I almost feel like you're
balls. They're balls.
I almost feel like you're walking me, is what I'm saying.
But that's what I got. I mean,
Well, where did we last leave off with your inadvertent thoughts?
Yeah, I think I'm good. What are you trying to get into?
I'm trying to get into the meat and potatoes of the situation.
You want to talk about what we missed last week because we were on the air?
I do. Definitely. I definitely want to talk about that, but before I do, R.I.P. Pop Smoke. For those who didn't know him, check him out. I'm sure his music sales go to his family, I would imagine. But he was a young man that died, a New York rapper. But he died yesterday morning. I guess the story was he accidentally flashed a bag with his address on it, and people ran into his house. But you can't believe what you hear. Nonetheless, I just wanted to show my respects, and then get straight into it with Dwayne Wade. You should be fucking ashamed of yourself.
Why? Because he was a judge? On what?
Because you cheated the fuck out of my guy, Aaron Gordon.
Did Dwayne Wade, though?
Dwayne Wade.
Candace Parker was the one that did Dwayne... No, it was
should
Dominique Wilkins and Candace Parker that gave him the 9s in the last round, wasn't it? I was rewatching, I'm just saying.
Give him 8.
You're supposed to give him 8?
At least that was the story. The story was it was supposed to end in a tie. in order for it to end in a tie, they had to give
Oh, and two of them gave.
him a 9, which
Oh,
boosted him above Aaron Gordon's last score and gave him the victory,
gotcha.
which fucked him 2 years in a row.
See, I didn't realize that. I didn't realize all that. Like, I ended up going back and I watched the dunk contest.
It was
I thought
amazing.
Dwight Howard's tribute to Kobe was cool. I thought Derek Jones Jr.
Dwight Howard was weak.
I'm not saying he was the best dunker, but I thought his tribute to Kobe was good shit.
Dwight Howard was weak.
This goes back to let Dwight Howard show up here and challenge you to a pros versus Joe's duel.
Oh yeah, if he smacked it, hey,
because he got the reach on you. If nothing else.
I'm fouling the shit out of him early.
But no, I thought Derek Jones Jr. and Aaron Gordon, like Aaron Gordon stuff.
Listen,
I understand it was good, like, but watching, and again, I just watched the highlights, but watching Derek Jones Jr., he just seemed to flow. Like, he just seemed much more in control and calculated and methodical. Aaron Gordon, like, half the shit he did, I felt like when he was jumping over people, he was kicking them in the head. Like,
no, I didn't see the kicks to the head. I didn't see that. But I feel the opposite. I feel like,
really?
I feel like Derek Jones, every dunk was between the legs. Every single dunk he did was a different variation
of between the legs. Yeah.
Every single one he jumped over
you.
dude did between the legs. He threw it off the backboard, did between the legs. He did.
But isn't that more impressive though?
No, not at all.
No.
Listen, Aaron Gordon may quite possibly be.
What did Aaron Gordon do that was more impressive?
He did off the corner of the backboard with a windmill with both hands, a two-handed windmill.
Oh, I must have missed that one.
You didn't see that?
That one didn't make the highlight.
And then he jumped over a 7'6" taco.
Yeah, but he knocked it. Dude had to bend over. Like, he didn't clear him.
He had his head like this.
No, and then
He's
he
7'6"
bent.
though.
And then he bent.
He ain't been shit.
I'm telling you, go back and watch it.
You hating on my G. He ain't been shit.
Bottom
line, he got fucked against Zach LaVine on the 2. Zach LaVine won 2018.
Oh, gotcha.
Which he deserved. Then 2019. Well, wait.
Was that 2019?
It may have been Aaron Gordon. I think Zach LaVine may have won 2017. Aaron Gordon won 2018. Then in 2019, they tied.
Okay.
They made it a tie.
Because we love ties in this country because
Right.
everybody gets a trophy.
Right.
Generation participation continues, ladies and gentlemen.
You know what? I may be off on that too. Either way, I know that Aaron won 1, Zach won 1, they tied 1. Now he just tied with or was supposed to tie with Derek Jones, which would have been fucked up as well, but you fucked him even worse and gave him the
win, yeah.
He honestly may be one of, if not the best dunkers in the NBA that doesn't get shined for it.
But okay, like, and this goes back to the NBA is the only thing that is the only professional sport where people give a shit about All-Star Weekend.
But the bottom line is,
but Jake would argue the NHL people care about the skills competition as well. I hear you.
But the bottom line is, in any other sport, we know that you have to beat the champ.
Yeah.
You have to beat the champ. You can't just have a good game. You have to take it from the champ. Derek Jones didn't take it from the champ.
Didn't do it.
And he got it handed to him. So for that, D. Wade, you should be ashamed of yourself. But, I don't know. At the same time, they were talking about should there even be
But how do you who wins a dunk contest if there's no judges? Then it's not a contest anymore. It's
Right.
just like a showcase.
And they were giving.
Maybe they measure crowd volume.
I mean, honestly, I feel like that may be no. I mean, you could do that, but it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be just down to those few people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I heard.
Because the bottom line is, what we do know is they wanted it to end in a tie.
Well,
you get what I'm saying?
Generation participation, of course that we do.
We know you wanted it to end in a tie, and we know you attempted to manipulate the judges into making it a tie. If it was the crowd, there is no manipulation. Even if you chose for it to, if you wanted it to be a tie, that doesn't mean the crowd's gonna go that route. You're eliminating all manipulation from it doing it that way. Because it's always something going on, some kind of bullshit with the dunk contest, and I think that this was the best one, and people were making comparisons between the Jordan Dominique Wilkins and this, but I think this was the best one. And you got to give props to those people because you got to think about all the ones that didn't. You know what I mean? Like, we're outside of the era where the best compete. LeBron's never done a dunk contest. Zion Williamson, everybody was geeked to see him, come do he didn't do a dunk contest. He did his little, speaking of, did you see the end of the Rising Stars game?
I did not.
They did.
So you talking the Rising Stars game or the actual All-Star
No,
game?
the Rising Stars game on, I think it was Friday it came on.
Well, I didn't know because I was out of town. So.
Okay. Yeah,
and I didn't go back and look at that.
They did a little mini dunk contest at the end of that. But the thing is, like, the best dunkers that came out this year were Zion Williamson and Ja Morant. Neither one of y'all were in it.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to let you know something. Mm-hmm. Our link changed, and I just realized it, so I'm trying to update it real quick. So just keep going for me for a minute.
Yeah, no, that's no problem. I can continue. What was I saying though before you?
We were talking about the Rising Stars game.
Oh right, Ja Morant and Zion Williamson. They didn't compete in that. Aaron Gordon consistently comes back year after year and competes in the dunk contest. Now the issue is that you're putting on a dunk contest with names that people very rarely know. Like, a lot of people don't know Derek Jones. The only reason that you do know him is because of the controversy that happened. Now, in Miami, I mean, he's a good player, don't get me wrong, but he's not a standout to the point that he's just a household name. People know who Derek Jones is. He wasn't even in the All-Star game. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like, I don't know. I just feel like I feel like he should be better. I feel like Antonio Brown after that.
You feel like Antonio Brown?
I would. If I was Aaron Gordon, I'd feel like, fuck this. I'm not coming back to do a dunk contest ever again. I'm not doing it because, listen, don't get me started, but that's the name of the game. That's the world. Everything it's all WWE now. It's all scripted. Everything is scripted. Everything has to be pre-planned. The selfies aren't selfies. You know what I mean? The videos that you take aren't the first take. Like, it's just supposed to, like, what happened to just being natural?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very kind of curated content, like, life these days.
Right.
And it has anything to do with any kind of media or any kind of, or social media. Like, what you see online is the best version, or what people think is the best version of themselves.
We're Facebooking on a green screen.
Right.
We're Facebooking on a green screen, and none of it's real.
None of it. And that's why, like, you look at all these people that, show themselves off as happy couples and all this shit. And they're the same ones that when you go out with them, they're the ones that are fighting the most. They're the ones that are like
Right.
ready to rip each other's heads off. They're the ones that are getting divorced. Like,
Because nothing is as it seems.
no, it never is.
It's
But
it's
social
close.
media has allowed people to amplify that. Like, they can project whatever image they want online and say, "Oh, this is really me." Well, no, it's not. Like, I know you.
Right.
It's the, hey, let me get that angle that's like right here, and or the fucking duck lips or whatever else the fuck
Right.
these girls do these days. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I mean, listen, that's life.
I mean, it is life.
And then
but
what's even crazier about it is it's just getting worse. Like I almost feel like who's doing this? Like, it has to be Steve Harvey. You know what I mean?
what do you mean? It's got to be Steve.
Like making the filters where it like automatically puts cover girl makeup on you and slims down your waistline and adds bulk to your hips, and you know what I mean? Like, it's apps where like
it's
makes
those.
you like
I hear you. Yeah.
and it's like, who's doing this? Like, who's making
Well, I
these?
mean, the shit. It's the deep fake shit now. Like, now you can put. All right, so
I know the deep fake.
you understand. You got the
I know
whole
about
deep fake, all of that. Well, the thing is the same technology behind that is the same way that can like optimize what you look like, optimize your person, like how you appear, etc. Like, it's the same shit, and it's becoming easier and easier to do it. Like, it's scary when you get into it because at some point we'll be able to come up with an algorithm or something that can recognize it, and you'll know for sure that it's deep fake from the start. But that's the part that's scary now, though.
No. Because see, that's just a piece of it. Because yeah, they will come up with an algorithm that'll be able to detect it, but will you be able to afford it? Who's gonna control it?
Who's gonna control the algorithm?
You know what I mean? It's always up to someone else.
To an extent, I hear you.
We can't break the number down to the lowest common denominator anymore. Like, we have to hear it from someone else. We keep this information locked up and we'll give it to you.
Yeah.
But no, you can't see what came out of this.
But that's the whole principle behind things like net neutrality and it's open
I don't know
source.
What that is. Explain it.
Open source, and the majority of the internet is built on the ideal
Right.
of the free exchange of information.
Right.
And when you talk about things like net neutrality, it's basically net neutrality is not a good example because net neutrality is actually about
You're speaking Spanish
how do you regulate and not allow internet providers to basically decide which content you can view at what speed.
Okay.
So net neutrality, like the recent example has been like Comcast will slow down your bandwidth when you're on Netflix, those kind of things, or they won't give you the bandwidth.
Right.
When you talk about open source is any code base that is basically freely given. Okay. So a lot of the back end systems are built with open source in mind, meaning anybody can come in, utilize this same code base, because at the end, creating this ecosystem is better for us than it is for this code base to only be restricted to this particular thing.
Right.
And so right now, a lot of those kind of security algorithms and a lot of those, I think what they're trying to do on the deepfake side is basically those are plugins that people will, at least right now, will give away for free because it behooves them. So the people that believe in open source are probably more likely to be the same people that have at least some sort of altruistic intent, meaning I'm going to give this to the people for free because I think it's better for them to have the access to this than not. And so in the case of deepfakes, I'm willing to bet there's enough white hat hackers that can build those algorithms that will identify if something's deep fake because they don't believe disinformation is a good thing.
Right.
So that's where I think that, at least I hope that there are enough good people in the world that believe things like that. That disinformation hurts us as a social society, as a social construct.
Oh, I have a big problem with this disinformation. It didn't catch everything he said though.
I hear you, but that's the gist of it. Is just around for this particular topic. I
Oh,
think there's enough people that think that the disinformation campaign and machines are wrong,
right.
and that they want to be able to make sure people know when something's not factual. And I think that's what you've seen from a pressure standpoint with like the social media entities as well. You will see things on Facebook now that say scam alert or
Yeah, I
not
have
trusted
seen that.
information or whatever the case
I have
is
seen that.
because of pressure from ordinary everyday citizens. Now that's not saying
I
that
have
they
seen that.
couldn't, that's not saying that corporations are good and that they won't ever lie to you or that they don't ever not
Right.
flag something,
What's
but
stopping them from putting scam
but at
alert
least-
on the fact
but
shit?
at least is what, at least right now it's kept in check because of the idea of an open internet.
What's stopping them from putting scam alert on the factual?
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
So I feel like we're in the Bible era where there's some real life treasures in here,
Yeah. What do you mean?
but you also got to sift through a lot of bullshit.
You're not wrong, but you always have to sift through a lot of bullshit.
And
Right?
I guess, but that's because we lack integrity. There was a specific point in time where you could rest assured this was accurate information. If it wasn't the truth, it was as close as possible to, like, there wasn't.
But where? What do you mean? Like from the news? From what? In terms of?
In terms of, I mean, yeah, in terms of the news, in terms of, like, you even had to source where you got your information from. You know what I mean? Nowadays we're in the age of articles, like headlines. Like, I don't have
It's
to read the
clickbait.
article.
It's clickbait. You look at the
I'm
headline,
not
but
even
you
gonna-
don't actually
right,
read
I'm
the
not
article.
even gonna click it. I'm just gonna read the headline, and that's the news that I'm gonna start giving out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
So
and,
you
and
don't
maybe
even
it's
get a
just
chance to
good.
see a source. You don't even look at a source because you didn't get past the headline.
Yeah.
You don't even know who wrote it. You know what I mean? And I've done that a few times myself. Like, read something and just like, oh yeah, that must be the thing, and didn't look at who wrote it.
Right. Oh, this is from Breitbart.
Right? And you're like, well shit. What?
Maybe I shouldn't be posting that along.
Right.
Or hey, I don't recognize this source at all.
We don't even read anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I will tell you that personally, I agree, and I'm not saying I'm not guilty of it. I think generally speaking, though, I've tried to take a more decisive role in that, in terms of I try not to share something if I actually haven't read the article that it's referencing. Like, I try to pull back on that, and I'm with you, because I'm not saying I haven't done it. I was just as guilty as anyone else, but at minimum I check the source, and then most of the time I won't post it unless I've read it.
See, my whole thing is, even with the source, like, who are you?
In terms of who is the source,
Right.
well, I mean, it comes down to who do you like to get your news from. Like, if it's somebody that,
But it.
or is it somebody, or at least be aware of how they lean typically. Like, there's a great infographic out there right now that basically shows you all of the major news networks and newspapers and those kind of things, and it and not saying that it's 100% accurate, but it shows, all right, does this lean towards more fact-based reporting or opinion-based reporting, or does it lean more
okay.
left, or does it lean more right? Like,
I don't care nothing about
I
that
think being able to understand like what the viewpoint is or what the starting point is for the group or person or network that's reporting it, I think that's something that is important if you're making decisions based on things you're reading.
But you can't trust anyone anymore.
Of course you can't. But you can understand, all right, well, if the left is saying this and the right is saying this about the same event, you know the truth is somewhere in the middle, right?
But why?
Like 9 times out of 10, that truth is going to be somewhere in the middle.
That's if you're reading something left or right.
Well, I think that's kind of the point, is that most of that stuff ends up being at least one way or the other.
You know what's funny is that you don't hear any kind of that talk other than in an election year.
I would say you don't hear any kind of that talk, or I hadn't heard any or as much of that kind of talk until this most recent administration. I don't think that I heard.
Now, it's definitely been amplified with this most recent administration, but let's be honest. That talk's been had for years, and it's only around election time.
Yeah.
Even when they said you shouldn't talk about politics, there was still those conversations.
I guess. But I don't think it was ever. I think it, and maybe it's just our age too, right? Like,
now it might not have been left versus right. It might have been red versus blue. It might have been the donkey and the elephant. There was
right.
always. It was always. What am I looking for? I can't think. But they're all homonyms, synonyms.
Or back to our homonym synonym debate.
I just say them both, and I hope
one of them's got to be right?
Right. It's bound to hit.
I hear you.
But that's what I'm saying. It's always something. Like, it's always been that. It's always going to be that. I just don't want to get started on it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate voting. I hate it. I hate everything about it. For what? You're all devils.
What's with the you all?
You're all devils.
Who's the you?
Congress.
Okay.
Right.
You staring right at me.
Right.
Like, you talking about white people, Cliff? You talking about white people? Or you talking about politicians?
Stop pitching me curveballs.
Stop pitching you curveballs. Man, this is some bullshit.
I'm just playing.
Oh,
but
shit.
It's doesn't matter who you are, what you are in there. You're all devils. What are you? Anything in the government?
What do you mean?
Anyone
in the government?
Devils.
Oh, I don't disagree.
Congress, government. If you have any mayor,
you've got to have some level of God complex or personality flaw to want to go into politics.
Period. Maybe that was what I was trying to get.
I hear you.
Politics.
No, I don't.
The big umbrella.
Yeah.
That's the big umbrella.
I don't disagree with you. I think that's
They're all devils.
spot on.
They're all devils. The whole lot of them.
The whole lot. Oh, man. All right. Well, let's see. We're almost an hour in. You want to take a quick break? Or you want to keep going?
Let's take a break.
You want to take a quick break? All right.
Yes.
We're going to take a quick break. I'm going to try to get things published back up on the live stream because I think we lost some folks just from the link changing. So I'm going to try to get some noise out there. Maybe we can have a more live second hour than we typically do, since we're usually big on the first hour, a little lighter in the second hour. But we flipped the script on that today, so we'll see how that goes.
I feel a little different today anyway, so...
All right. Well, we'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. And these are the two fools taking a quick 2-3 minute break.
Hey,
All right, we are back. So, oh man, this thing with the link is killing me, dude. It's pissing me off, but
that's
technology issues, shit happens.
that's your side of the fence.
We'll all
I'm
be
on
we'll all
mine.
be good. I mean, the podcast is still published when it's supposed to, all that shit. So, sorry for anybody out in the that tried to join us live and wasn't able to because the link broke. So, our bad. We'll fix it.
That's a
We'll get
bummer.
better going forward. I mean, it's a bummer, but shit happens. Man. All right, you want to get into our two big topics? Which one do you want to lead off with? We got
I mean,
movies or fights. What you want?
I'm always going fights.
I know you are. I know you are. So why don't you kick us off there with what the Wilder Fury fight that's coming up tomorrow, right?
Coming up tomorrow. I feel like I may be giving some free advertisement here. Because believe it or not, boxing fan or casual, this has the potential of being the best heavyweight fight that we had for a while.
I tell you what, you know me, not the biggest boxing fan, but I went back and watched the highlights from the first one, and yeah, I think you're right.
So you just watched the highlights.
I just watched I will tell you, it was
you
like
didn't miss a lot in the fight.
it was a 20-minute highlight video, kind of like watching the dunk contest highlights.
Mm-hmm.
Like the dunk contest highlights was a 24-minute video from Bleacher Report.
Right,
like,
right. So all the pertinent parts of each round, basically.
Right.
And that okay. So in a nutshell,
So what was your opinion on the first fight? Are you one of these that said Fury won that fight?
it was a draw.
Well, I understand it was a draw.
I feel like it was a fair draw. Was a fair verdict on that. And the reason behind that was there was clearly two knockdowns in the fight. Those are 10-8 rounds. So that means that's automatically 4 points to Wilder.
Right.
So that means that he has 4 rounds in the books right there. If you get no knockdowns, you can't let him win.
You've got to win more rounds than
Right.
he does then. But
Right.
if you've got
So
two
just off
knockdowns,
those two
then
rounds, he got just off the two knockdowns in those 2 rounds, he got 4 rounds. So that means he only had to win 2 more rounds for it to be a tie.
Right. Right. I'm with you.
Which he definitely, I would say,
He definitely won at
Now,
least 2 or 3 more
right,
rounds.
if you want to be biased, you could say one went this way, one went that way. But let's be honest, it was a draw. And the reason why I say that, let's be honest, Fury outboxed him all the way around, and he's going to outbox anybody. Fury's going to outbox anyone in the sport in the heavyweight division. Fury is
I just like that he talks like Jason Statham.
the Gypsy King. Don't get me wrong. I love Tyson Fury. He skated by on that one. I do believe it was a long count.
Yeah.
It was a long.
I mean,
count.
that was one that showed up in the highlights. Like it was a long 9.
It was a long count. First of all, you have to be back up and on your feet by 8.
Right.
Or it's over.
And it looked like he was still on a knee at 9.
It was a very long count. I don't care what anybody has to say. People are going to argue it to the death that he got up in time. It was a long count. I don't care what anybody has to say. That's why I'm satisfied with the draw, because there were flaws on both ends. However, this time around, I feel it's a different story. So since they have both fought two fights apiece, I can't think of Fury's opponents off the top of my head right now. I know he struggled with them, though. I know he got a good cut that opened up with one of them. What the fuck was his name?
Yeah, you're on your own here. Like, I can contribute to the...
It doesn't matter. I'm not going to waste my time on trying to think about it. But Wilder fought Luis Ortiz again, as well as Dominic Breazeale. Both won by vicious knockout, and each of them um, looked good in the Ortiz fight. I'm not gonna say anything about the Brazil because faster than it ended too fast for you to get a good look at how he really looked in it.
Gotcha.
But it was one of the most vicious knockouts I've ever seen. And it's interesting because me and a few people that I talk boxing with, of course, outside of here, we're talking about who hits harder, Tyson or Wilder.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, not being a big boxing fan, but watching the highlights, it looks
It's
like
Wilder
Fury.
hands down.
You think it's Wilder hands down?
Wilder hands down over Tyson.
Yeah.
And there's
I
a
mean,
reason
when he
behind
connects,
that, too.
like, but to
Right.
your point, Fury, I think, is the better boxer.
Right.
But Wilder, with his reach and how he comes down, like, yeah, I'm with you.
Listen, and he said,
I mean, there's a reason why he had 2 knockdowns, and people were saying Fury won the fight. Like, but you're
at the
not
same
knocking
time,
people down
I can
otherwise.
I can see why they say that, though, because he got the knockdown in the 12th round. Fury got back up, and if we're being honest, he damn near won the round after the knockdown.
But at that point, can you?
No, you can't win
No.
the round.
So,
but what you
what's it
could
matter?
do is take that 10-8 round back up to a 10-9, potentially.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? And if he would have did that, then it wouldn't have been a draw.
Yeah.
He would have gotten the victory. So I could see you making the argument of saying, even though he did get the knockdown, it was a 10-9 round because he...
Right, because he went
he,
after him
I wouldn't
or
even say
got
beat
back.
him, but he came back in
Yeah.
the end of the fight. But nonetheless, he wouldn't have had a chance to if the count was right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. Like, he was not up on his feet by 8.
He didn't even run over to start the
first
count
knockdown.
as soon as he hit the
No.
canvas.
No.
Which brought up a good
Like, that fight should have
question.
already been over. Like, the late round knockdown, the late round knockdown and, Fury coming back shouldn't even have been a factor.
Radio Raheem on the Joe Rogan show just recently was on the podcast, and he said, why is it even a ref in there that counts?
Right.
Like, that's prehistoric. Like, a man standing over someone counting. Why is there not a clock from when his back
Because
hits
it's all
the
WWE,
canvas,
and
or his
it's
glove
all
hits
about the
right,
show.
Right.
As soon as the glove breaks a certain plane
soon
or
as it
becomes
hits
in
the-
contact with the mat,
The
or
clock starts. Is it 10?
I mean, why not?
Like, come on now. Like, that lets you know that there's some sort of, once again, we go back to the dunk contest.
Right.
There's
some
room
sort
for
of bias and
manipulation.
manipulation. Yeah, you're not wrong.
But
But people have said that about different boxing events for years.
because the mafia has always been involved.
Right.
And I don't think that they've ever gotten out of being involved.
Right. It's just which faction.
Right. And they're so far removed that who, me?
No.
Couldn't be.
Then who?
Right. Right. But this fight is going to be hella more interesting for a few reasons.
Well, yeah, because you already have the anticipation from the first one being a draw. Like, the problem is that people are going to want to see a decisive victory one
and there
way
will
or
be
the
this
other.
time. And there will be for sure this time. I bet my life savings on it, which isn't
I
much.
was about to say, so 32.70.
You know? But I'm willing to lose it tonight, ladies and gentlemen. But no, I say it's going to be interesting because first and foremost, what people like to understand is Deontay Wilder weighs in heavyweight fights at 207 pounds.
Wait, did you just say 207?
207. You're not far off a cruiserweight. If you lost 8 pounds, you could be at cruiserweight.
Is that what they call it there?
Right. Right above. Right. And I know this because we had a debate about it earlier. Shout out two-time junior.
So wait. Because we had the discussion last week on here about the UFC weight
No, the
classes,
UFC is
right?
completely different.
Okay.
Than they don't even have a cruiserweight.
No,
UFC.
I didn't. But cruiserweight, I'm thinking like Rey Mysterio from back in the WWE,
Right, you think light.
WCW.
Yeah, no.
Right, yeah.
Right below.
These are the
heavy
luchadors
cruiser.
that they fly off the top rope, man.
and then light heavyweight under cruiserweight.
So
But-
cruiserweight's above light heavyweight?
Right.
That doesn't make sense to me.
Listen, I would say that one threw me off as well because I could have
Billy Kidman, he used to do the shooting star press. He was a cruiserweight.
But no. But
La
nonetheless, he can be. And if you put a man that hits like that in the under 200 division, then you have a murderer on your hands.
Right. Someone's going to jail.
So, mind you, he's 207 fighting a 255-pound Tyson Fury.
Right.
And doing what he does. Now, why I say this fight is going to be more interesting is because they say Tyson Fury has put on 20 additional pounds to ensure he has more power behind his punches.
Fury has... So, wait, was 250 at before the 20? Or?
Exactly. So now he's coming in
Okay, so he's coming in like 270?
275, around that area. That I see as
that's a lot of... I mean...
That's a big disadvantage.
Being somebody that's like floats between 270 and 290, because when you get that big, a 20 points or 20 pound swing,
No, it
ain't
depends
shit.
on how you're working too.
But that's what I'm saying. Like moving an extra 20 pounds around, going from 250 to 270, it's not the easiest thing to do.
Right.
It's not.
Now the issue that I find with that is, and I don't know how closely you watch the highlights, they were both pretty gassed around the 12th round of that fight.
Yeah, they were.
Tyson Fury's not going to be able to stand in front of him at any point in this fight.
That was actually my thing watching it, was while I understood the critique that Tyson Fury is the better overall boxer, I actually thought he was gassed before the 12th round.
Because he had to keep moving.
And the thing is he was good early in the round, but he
Right.
was trash late in the round.
Because if you stop for 1 minute,
Right.
he's
Wilder
gonna
put you
lay
out.
a hammer on you.
Right.
So now nothing changes.
Yeah.
Only difference is you put on 20 pounds. Sir.
Right. So you better finish the fight early. You better knock him
You have
the fuck
no
out.
choice. Right. And that's what he said. He said, I put on this weight because I can guarantee you I'm going to get hit with that right hand.
Yeah.
And he said, and I can guarantee you if I don't go down, he said, I guarantee you I could either go down and get back up or go down and stay down.
Yeah.
But I'm going to get hit with it. So I have to put him out before he hits me with that punch. That is the worst game plan. That means you have to stand in front of him and trade with him.
Right.
In order to land that punch. Now, what we all know is Tyson Fury is not a knockout fighter. You have a 50% knockout percentage. It's not bad. That's not a bad percentage. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like trying to sin like he's just weak. No, not saying that. But a 50% knockout percentage as opposed to a what, 93, 91?
Yeah.
You don't. He has a 91% knock. He has a 91% knockout. That means damn near everybody that stands in front of him
has fallen down
and doesn't
get back up.
Somebody has to wake up. Hey.
That was the whole thing with Fury, though. Like, up until that fight, though, he had only been knocked down once.
Right.
And Wilder put him down twice. So.
And the only difference is.
So who you got?
It's evident who I have.
Wilder?
It's evident who I have. The question is when. Now, what's odd about it is that last I checked, the odds, Vegas odds, well, not the odds, but they had Fury at plus 115, Wilder at minus 160, which doesn't really make sense to me. I understand that Fury is the better boxer. He's the closest thing that we have to a Muhammad Ali at heavyweight.
Yeah.
When it comes to movement, defense, the total package, I don't think that there will be, like, he's very underrated when it comes to all that.
Okay.
But Wilder is too dangerous. He's too dangerous, and the first time
Wilder just looks same commentary I had around Derek Jones Jr. He just looks so effortless in what he does. Like Fury, you would think like Fury being the big white boy that like I'd be a fan. He looks like everything he does is a struggle.
I mean, I'm a fan. No, I'm a fan. But I don't see it being a good thing for him. It's not going to be a good evening for him. Even if he pulls off the victory, the only way he can win it is by points. That means you have to last 12 rounds with him.
Yeah.
And if you last 12 rounds with him, I can't imagine what you look like after it.
I hear you.
The first time you made it out decently. Second time, I don't see it being that way. Especially seeing how you looked in your two interims before this fight. Like, it was like you looked lacking. And you can't look lacking like you did with them against him. Like, this man could literally kill you in the ring.
And nobody wants that to happen.
Have you seen the Dominic Brazil knockout?
No.
I almost want you to watch it on camera to see he broke his face. He literally broke the man's face.
So Dominic, you said it was Dominic Brazil?
Dominic Brazil, Deontay Wilder. There were people at the fight that said it sounded like a shotgun blast from him hitting his face. I've never seen anybody get hit like that. It looked like it was staged, like he put his face there for him to.
All right. Well, we'll see. Keep going. I'm pulling it up. Yeah, I'll watch.
I can't see Fury lasting 12 rounds. I just can't see it happening again.
Yeah, I don't. I think you're right. I don't see anything going down that way either. The only
reason why I feel like it happened the first time is because I feel like Wilder took him for granted.
Yeah.
He underestimated him. He thought that he'd be able to get him out of there quick. He didn't know that he was going to be as skilled, and it took him a little too long to get his targeting right. Oh, you couldn't. Oh, yeah. I was about to say you couldn't even put the sound on. I was about to say the sound. You can hear it. The sound is.
Oh, you can hear it. Why he get up so fast though? Like he didn't realize he was knocked the fuck out.
I don't know if they show his face after that either. Shit was sad.
Broke.
That shit was sad. I
mean, he got back to his feet. He was about 2 seconds too late, but he got back to his feet.
That shit was sad. Matter of fact, Brendan Schaub said on his podcast, that Below the Belt podcast where he interviews the fighters, he said he was in the crowd for that fight. He was sitting next to Brazil's family when that happened. And he said,
what they have to say?
He didn't say anything about it. He just said he had tears in his eyes looking at his family after they watch that shit happen.
That's no
and
good.
that listen, I've never seen anything like that in my life.
No, that was pretty brutal.
I've never seen it.
So, all right. I don't know, man. Hey, now I don't think we can do it for this fight, but do we want to get that going in terms of like doing live stream watching?
Yes, we do.
Whether it's boxing or UFC or whatever.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
We'll have to. I think we can do it. I do want to ask our fans out there that are listening to us or that are tuning in, whether it's today on the podcast or on the live stream or next week on the podcast. You know, hit us up on Twitter. Is that something you'd be interested in? Is that something that you would tune in and listen to us talk through a fight, or listen to us do a show for like the hour leading up to a fight? Or I mean, I think we could do it a couple of different ways, but
we could do it some ways.
Yeah,
you would be interested.
Well, I want to hear it from our people.
You've heard it.
I've heard it from you.
They are. I'll have my father come in.
Oh,
it'll be a blast.
Ooh, that might be worth the price of admission in and of itself. Why? Just because he wants a place to watch the fight?
It'll be great.
It'll be great. I mean, we do have the other mic. I do think we could put it on that wall. I've got cable hookup up here. We can do it.
Hey.
It won't be for this fight, but let's try to shoot for something maybe in May or June. Maybe April, but probably May or June. Summer will be easier.
It's a good one coming up in July.
What's coming up in July?
Golden Boy, Ryan Garcia, and Jorge Linares, I believe, is on July 11th.
Anything big coming up in the UFC that you can think of off the top of your head?
What's his name? My guy.
Your guy.
Izzy Adesanya and
Adesanya and why am I blanking? Jones.
No.
Who he's fighting first?
Right. Pitbull.
Yeah.
Brazilian. Damn, I can't think of his name.
That's like half the UFC, dude.
Right. Damn, what is his name?
But we'll check that out.
Dude.
Well, I like the idea of
Cuban.
we could do boxing shows.
Cuban.
We could do boxing shows with your dad, and maybe we could do UFC with Jason. Let's see if we can get something like that going, and we can see what we can do.
Yoel Romero.
Well done. Way to come back to it, man.
Yeah,
I'm impressed you got it. Way to come back.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anything else to close out on the Wilder Fury fight?
I have Wilder in 9. Late 9. If I'm giving it to you and it's going to be a ultimate prediction, I have Wilder in the 9th round with 52 seconds left on the clock.
With 52 seconds left on the clock.
Correct.
I will pay you out $100 if that is the exact end of that fight.
Get your debit card.
But it has to be 52. It has to be exactly 52 seconds when he hits the mat.
Get your when he hits the mat or the punch?
No, when he hits the mat.
Mat.
So you're going to go to 53 or 54? Or I guess down, it would be 51 or 50.
Right, it would be
49.
Give me the 50 to the 52. Give me the 50 to 52.
52? That's a 2-second window. We went from a on the dot to a window? Is that how we're doing this?
Well, from the punch to the
that's the time from the punch to the mat.
So what we're counting, the punch or the
all right, so if we say from the time he hits the mat, you're saying 50 to 52?
No, I think I'm still saying 52.
Well, I just said that I was going to give you the window.
Yeah, I'm still saying 52. So hitting the mat, I'd say 54. So I'm saying 52, 54.
Wait, time left? Why would it go up if yours was the punch? and
Or
hitting the mat.
54, 52. No, wait.
It'd be
Yeah,
52
no, I
down
said
to
it.
50. If he got hit at 52, he wouldn't hit the mat till there were 50 seconds left.
Right.
Is that what we're going to do?
No, because it's going to happen in rewind.
It's going to happen in rewind? What do you mean?
So he's going to pull his punch away.
You
54. 52 to 54.
So you think 52 to 54, that's the window you want? It's a 2-second window.
52! Right on the dot.
You know what? I'll give you 50 to 54.
definitive-
I'll give you plus or minus 2 seconds on your 52 seconds
52.
left. So, all right, this won't be a two fools agree, but this will be a two fools shake on it. We'll have to talk about what I get otherwise. You actually like the Facebook page.
Did I not do that?
I don't know if you did or not. I just like giving you shit.
I'm
about
sure I
that
didn't
stuff.
do that. I'm sure I didn't do that. But, yeah, no, you don't get shit if you didn't get nothing right. Just because I'm wrong don't mean you get...
Oh, so it's not... Okay, that's fair.
Just
that's fair.
like a colonizer.
That's fair. You son of a bitch.
You don't gotta do shit. But if I'm wrong... Goodness gracious, student loans. What are you, a student loan advisor? Who...
Well, you set the time. I get to go over under.
He thinks he's the
and
house.
I'm gonna go over.
House always wins. Goodness goddamn gracious.
You ain't wrong.
House always wins.
My man.
But what about these movies,
shit.
though?
So I know we talked about it a little bit early. I mean, you and I, we text on Thursday, Friday, trying to figure out what the fuck we want to talk about. I mean, was there anything? So what we're looking at is the most anticipated movies of 2020. Maybe getting into it a little bit ourselves. I know you're not a big movie guy. Was there anything that jumped out to you?
Movie guy.
You're not gonna be one that's gonna go out to the movie though.
No, I'm not going to anybody's movies.
But he's a huge movie guy.
Fuck y'all are trifling.
You're a fool.
Go to the movies and come on with bed bugs. I'm not going to anybody's movies.
You're going to the wrong theaters, I guess.
There must be.
I guess so. I didn't know those kind of theaters were still open.
Oh, they are.
We should have a talk afterwards. But looking through the list in 2020, was there anything that kind of jumped out to you?
Nothing.
Because I'm gonna run through a couple, but I want to give you the opportunity to start off and see if there was anything. Not one. We looked at a list of 76 movies that are coming out here in 2020, and not one jumped out to you.
76 that I looked through?
I don't know that you looked through them all, but it was 76 on the list that I sent you.
Awful. They were all awful.
All awful. Man.
All awful.
Where's the joy in your life, Clifford?
Not from the list of 2020's movies coming up. That's for damn sure.
Well.
What movies did you like?
All right, so
you liked,
here's the
Skywalker story.
That was last year. The Rise of Skywalker, that was last year.
Oh, was it?
That was 2019. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe you looked at the wrong
Looked
list.
at the wrong list.
Well, I'm going to start this off while I've got it broken into 3 different categories. So I've got movies that I'll wait for streaming. Wait till they go to HBO, Netflix, Hulu, whatever.
Right.
I've got the ones I'm definitely going to see in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got the
Them
ones
bugs.
that I'm not interested at all.
Uh-huh.
I've got no interest. 0. What do you think? What should we start off with here? I will tell you the majority of them sit in the I'll wait for streaming.
Let's go with not interested.
The not interested. So the big ones that are coming out in 2020 that I think are going to have major hype around them that, personally I was just like, I don't care. I don't care at all.
Right.
We're gonna start off. This probably isn't a surprise, but
All of them.
Legally Blonde 3.
Oh my gosh, I saw that.
I don't know
Is she
how they're
still
doing it.
alive?
Reese Witherspoon, yes.
I thought her daughter was like 23.
I mean, you might be right, but that doesn't mean she's not
I
alive.
thought her daughter had hot flashes. Like, what the fuck are we still doing?
I mean,
Reese?
dude, you're 33 and your mom's still out here looking good. So I don't know what you're trying to talk about. I just meant that she's healthy. Like last time I saw her, everything looked like everything was going all right. I wasn't, hi,
right.
Jeannie.
Right.
I don't know why you said it like she dead though.
Rest in peace, Reese Witherspoon. What else?
F9. I can't believe they've got a fucking 9th Fast and the Furious movie. I don't understand how they went back past the first one. Now, I will say I've heard that they're good, like just campy action fun, pretty much from when The Rock joined, which I think was like the 5th one. But how are they almost up to 10 movies with this shit,
Fast
man?
and Furious is like Netflix and chill personified. I mean, like,
I don't think you're wrong. I think that's exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, who watches Fast and Furious? It's good background noise.
Yeah. Yeah. That's about all it is.
Right.
I can't deal with it.
But if there's not tits involved.
I mean, I watched like the last couple of minutes of the year that Paul Walker died. I think that was the last one that I even caught any of it. Like I watched it just because I knew that was his last movie, and like I had heard they did some shit in the last scene that I wanted to see the technology behind, and But other than that, nah, I've never. I watched 1 and 2. Luda and 2 was my favorite part.
R.I.P. Paul Walker.
True.
Say what's up to Reese Witherspoon for me. What next?
The other 2 that I had no interest at all in, we'll go Bill and Ted 3. Continuing the Keanu signs.
Now.
Oh, was this one that you had a little mixed feeling about?
Now, wait. I didn't even see this was there. But, who's Bill and Ted?
Wait, what do you mean?
Who's Bill and Ted in the new movie Bill and Ted? Are they Bill and Ted?
Yes,
Are they going
they're
back
still
in
Bill.
time
They're
with
still
younger
themselves. Nope, same guys.
So is it like they're Al Bundy as a shoe salesman with a belly, and you go back in time as the Rock in?
I don't know that they're going. I don't know that they're going back in time per se.
That's what
I understand
Bill
that's
and
what the
Ted
show.
was
I understand.
about.
So I don't know. I don't know the context beyond.
R.I.P. Keanu Reeves. What else?
First of all, Keanu doesn't die. He's a vampire.
R.I.P. Keanu.
He's a vampire. He doesn't die. He's immortal.
R.I.P. Keanu Reeves.
He's immortal.
And the Matrix.
Dude, you can't just tell people that they're dead. Don't be that guy.
R.I.P.
The last one that I have no interest at all. Top Gun and Maverick. Top Gun Maverick. I can't believe they're doing another Top Gun movie. Can't believe it.
Tom Cruise is still alive.
Cliff, you can't just kill all these white people.
There's no way. Tom Cruise isn't on his 11th clone. There's no fucking way. Scientology.
What do you mean? Well, of course. That's because it's right. That's how those things work.
How's it?
11th clone.
I wouldn't be surprised if I couldn't cut you and Tom Cruise right now and see pistons and shocks up under you.
Oh, we're back to last week's show. That's right.
I'm not saying I trust. All I'm saying is R.I.P. Tom Cruise. What's next?
R.I.P. So those are the ones that I had no interest at all.
Okay.
No interest at all.
What's
now the ones that I will go see in theaters. Okay. Now I will say I'm gonna lead off with this one right here. Trolls World Tour.
OMG.
Anna Kendrick, Justin Timberlake, and the fact that I have a 4-year-old son, Clifford. I mean, the first one's all right. Have you seen the movie?
Well, you're gonna have to grow up fast, kid. We're
going back to the.
We're not
you gotta
going
grow
to
up
fucking
fast.
see that.
I
shit.
think it's gonna be entertaining.
Bring the call.
I think the first one was entertaining. I think they had a Netflix. This goes back to our conversation. Like DreamWorks does all right with the Netflix series and with the shows, and
I can do without Beyblades.
I know you can.
Trolls.
I like going and seeing this shit with my kid, man.
Keanu Reese.
He enjoys it. I enjoy it.
All them. What else?
The next one that I'll probably see in
R.I.P.
theaters.
Trolls.
you can't keep killing motherfuckers. No, the next one that I think I'm gonna go see is Black Widow. So from Avengers, Scarlett Johansson continuing.
I won't kill her because someone in the movie probably will. But isn't she dead though?
In the MCU, yeah, she died.
Okay,
in
so it's
Avengers.
probably not in the movie, but
sorry, spoiler alert. Yeah, she died.
You get the
in
drift. R.I.P. Black
She died
Widow.
in Endgame. But no, this takes place between Infinity War and Endgame, I think is what they're saying. And the unfortunate thing is it looks like Red Sparrow from a year or two ago with Jennifer Lawrence.
I don't even know who that is.
J Law was Katniss
J-Law.
Everdeen.
That's,
it was Mystique in X-Men and Katniss Everdeen in the Hunger Games.
Hunger.
Yeah.
That's where I know her from.
But
I've never seen
there was
that.
a movie 2 years ago that was basically about about this
R.I.P.
group,
Stan Lee.
this female spy. Yes, R.I.P. Stan Lee. This female spy from Russia. And it kind of gives her whole backstory in terms of
R.I.P.
they
Hillary
brutalized
Clinton.
them, etc. Let's see what else we got. Wonder Woman 84. Looking forward to that. Gal Gadot, buddy. Looking forward to that.
What words were you just saying? What words were those?
Wonder Woman 84.
Wonder Woman 8 and a 4.
84.
Right.
That's the name of the movie. Wonder Woman 1984.
And
it's
Gal
Gadot, who plays Wonder Woman. She's also been in
a woman.
The Fast and Furious and all that shit.
And she's a woman.
Yeah. Because she plays Wonder Woman, Cliff.
Or a robot. And artificial.
Probably an artificial intelligence. That's probably true. It's got a very 80s vibe to it. I think it looks good.
R.I.P. Rebecca Bordeaux. What's next?
I got nothing else, man. I mean, I've got probably another 15 or so that look good for wait until streaming. I think Dune's coming out late next year. It looks like a good sci-fi fic.
There's no way that I looked at the proper list.
No.
There's no way. I saw
What'd you see?
Invisible Man.
That was early. That's one that's coming out right now. That's with Elizabeth Olsen, I think. She's in Handmaid's Tale. She was also in
R.I.P. Kevin Bacon.
Okay.
That's Hollow Man.
That's Hollow Man. You're right.
That's Hollow Man.
No, it is, but I think it's actually a better horror take on that. But
what, the fact that he said he was going to stalk her and he's invisible?
yeah, no, well, I think at least the trailers that I've seen, it looks like a decent thriller. I mean, I don't think it's going to be anything special, but it looks all right. What else? What else do you see on the list you looked at?
I saw Enter the Fat Dragon.
I didn't see that.
You didn't see that?
Enter the Fat Dragon?
Listen, I guess it was supposed to be a spoof on a Bruce Lee movie.
Mm-mm. No, I don't think I saw that.
Real live action Mulan.
Live action Mulan I know that's coming out. Not really. I mean, that's one that I'll watch when it comes to streaming. It's not one that I'm going to go after.
I feel like this world is over.
What do you mean?
I feel like we're just running the credits.
We're just continuing to kind of rehash the same
I
shit.
feel like the sun should have burnt out probably a good 20, 30 years ago. And we're getting extra life out of it. And now we're just improvising. Because this world is a joke.
What do you mean?
The movies are a joke. Didn't we have the same conversation every week? Don't we have the exact same conversation every week?
Do we?
It's a repeat of everything over and over and over again. And that's why I was just going through that list like there's nothing new here.
I think what's interesting is there's a couple of things that are new thoughts or new ideas. Like there's the Free Guy movie, which is Ryan Reynolds, where he's basically playing a NPC in a video game.
I don't know anything about that.
See, that one looks alright. That looks like something that's new.
What's an NPC?
Non-playable character. So basically, like a character he's basically someone who lives in the world of GTA. So he's not like the main character. He's not the player character, but he's like, what would life be like if you were a non-playable character?
I could get on board with
GTA.
I always think that myself.
There is, I hear what you're saying because a lot of the stuff that comes out these days is based on other source material. You've got Morbius, which is going to be a Spider-Man thing. You've got The Many Saints of Newark, which is basically a prequel to The Sopranos.
Either it's all lies. It's all lies and you don't know it's true. I.e., a source of articles. Either. What were we talking about? Oh, it's remade over again and packaged to you in a different way.
I don't disagree. I guess my point is if they can come up with a new kind of packaging that actually interests me, like, it doesn't bother me. Like,
it doesn't bother you if it's
here's
the same
here's
thing,
where
it's
if
different.
we're like another one that's coming out next year is Ghostbusters Afterlife. Actually looks okay. Actually looks decent. It's not the all females Ghostbuster from last year or 2
What's
years
wrong with the
ago.
all
That was
females Ghostbusters from last year, 2 years ago?
it just wasn't a good movie.
No, it wasn't a good movie.
No, this one actually looks like they are continuing the same story. I think the one from 2 years ago, I felt like they referenced the old movies, but they didn't renew the story. Yeah, not really. This one is basically a direct continuation off of 2, but it's 30 years later. Like, I can get behind that. Same reason why I like what they did with the new Star Wars. Like, it's still in the same universe. It's expanding the same lore. Completely new story, but it's expansion. Like, I like it when they go back. If they're going to do something to kind of drive and feed off of nostalgia, I want it to be a continuation of what I already liked. It could be something new, but it should be, like, I like the idea of it being a continuation instead of being a remake or a reboot or whatever.
Yeah. But that's everything.
I don't disagree that everything's a remake or a reboot right now. I don't disagree with that. What I like, though, is when they...
Star Wars in a nutshell?
No, in the sense that they didn't... While I think that the new trilogy has some beats with the old trilogy in terms of they hit the same kind of emotional highs and lows, I think it was a completely new story.
He said they hit emotional highs and lows. I don't listen.
I'm just telling about, like, storytelling. It hits the same kind of emotional beats in the story. Because that's what you do with movies, is it's storytelling, and if you don't make an emotional connection...
I know it did the intro, the climax...
Right. The 3-act structure, etc., yeah.
Save it for your Trek show, sir.
Not like I went deep into it, I just said story structure.
Spanish. You were speaking Star Wars Spanish.
You killing me, man.
I don't know that. I don't know that.
Man. But it's the same idea of like with okay, let's say it was Ghostbusters. Like they could easily hit the same points of.
So let me ask you a question then.
Go ahead.
How many Star Wars movies have they made?
11.
Total.
3 trilogies and 2 standalones.
Okay. And out of those 11 movies, how many of them had the same
exact like story beats?
right intro, climax, decline?
Really, I think it's more between the original trilogy and the most recent one. So, and it was really only like 2 of the movies that did. 2 out of 3. It's not even 2 out of 3. The first movie had the exact same beats. So the first movie, the original Star Wars, and The Force Awakens have very much the same beats. You go to any of the other ones, I don't think there's any overlap outside of those 2. Meaning they all have their own first, second, third acts, but you don't see the exact same thing repeated. And on my own show, when I get into One Fool's Opinion about Star Wars, I will get into the poetry of Star Wars, what George Lucas talks about all the time, how you're supposed to hit the same beats, etc. Understand it, don't agree with it, but I get what he's saying. So, yes, I will go that nerdy route, but I do save that for my own show, Cliff. It's called One Fool's Opinion.
R.I.P.
Colon. You're a clown.
What's next?
What do you mean, what's next? We're out of time, man. We here at 11 o'clock. About time to wrap it up here in probably the next 5-10 minutes. What do you got? Anything else you want to talk about tonight?
R.I.P. episode
Since you've been sleeping through half this show.
Was I asleep, or was I just trying to duck you trying to beam me?
Sorry, I'm just trying to keep a show going here, dude.
Yeah, no curveballs, no shots to the dome.
Try to keep it going early, you know. What are you gonna do?
Listen.
Can't win them all, man. Can't win them all. And I'm irritated about the fact the stream cut out, so it is what it is.
It's all right. It's a curveball. That's your curveball. You have to deal with that.
Well, you're not wrong. Anything else? We about ready to wrap this up for tonight.
I'm going to say no.
You got nothing?
Yeah, I'm going to say no.
All right, well, that's all we got tonight. So hit us up on Twitter. You see our handles out there in the on the live stream. You got at the Geeky Coach and at Don't Follow Too Close. Give us a like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and tell your friends. I mean, I think for the most part, we're keeping things pretty entertaining here on a week-to-week basis, and love to have whoever in the chat with us live on Friday nights. So appreciate it. Have a good one. Cliff, you want to take us out?
Do me a favor and like the Foolproof page for me.
For you.
For me. Not for you. Like it for me. For myself. Have a blast.